The game of preparing souls, as they claim, which occupied the world and became one of the games that parents bring to their children for entertainment. Is this game real? Is this demon spirit really present? Is this game really threatening our lives, or is it just a game? And there are a lot of horror films that use Ouija boards, which usually involve teenagers and portray the game as an engaging game of necromancy. But the history of the Ouija board itself is more complex than the cinema has to offer. In all cases, this game leaves a psychological impact on its players directly or indirectly, and some frightening things may be prepared for them that lead them to severe nervous breakdowns, and this is called the game's revenge, as it leads to psychological disorders that end with suicide or committing crimes, or going to the sanatorium for treatment haunt players all the time until they end up with a tragic end. You will find all the answers here.
The game has its origins in China, where priests specializing in one religion used a specific type of writing, which is called automatic writing, or referring to some things, and these beliefs moved to the Middle Ages and the emergence of mediums who claim that spirits and ghosts occupy the bodies to talk to the world through them. Until the American idea reached Elijah Bond and began selling a new game in 1890 and published in American stores, it was believed that the game was called Ouija, and the name was chosen with reference to the word yes in French, oui, and German, ja. The game has been widely traded for its simplicity and ease of accessing spirits through it easily without the complications that priests used in the past. Using the game only requires that you have the ability to read and understand letters and numbers. What distinguishes the game is its simplicity and the lack of need for experience or complicated ways to use it. There are only a few simple rules. A Ouija board is a rectangular board made of wood that can be made at home from cardboard and wood. The board is engraved in the middle with the alphabet and numbers from 0 to 9 in the form of opposite arcs, and in the four corners of the board had some words written, namely, yes, no, Ouija, goodbye. As for the pointer, it is called planchette, which is shaped like a heart or a drop of water. It is also made of wood and perforated in the middle so players can see the letters. Players get together, they may be 2, 3, or 4, but they should not be more than 4, and no one prefers to play alone and create the right atmosphere for spirits, which is the dim lights. Prefer candles with incense. The place is quiet or far from any noise. One of the players is chosen and called the master of the game, and he is the one who asks the questions prepared in advance. They all ask their own questions. Gently they put their fingers on the planchette and the master begins to ask, "Are there any spirits among us?" And all of them are waiting for the answer. It may come at the same moment, so planchette moves towards the word yes. It may wait a little or it may not move.
Who among us has not watched the famous Ouija movie? It deals with the story of the Ouija game that relies on recruiting souls who answer things from the future. Ouija is a story inspired by myths, inspired by fantasy, and one with proven facts in many places around the world, and with the increasing proliferation of films that dealt with the story, the demand for purchasing the game online has increased. But it's not just a game, it's very dangerous, and it has made some people go crazy, and some that end up dying. In February 1890, an advertisement appeared in the American newspapers entitled Ouija, the Wonderful Talking Board, and it quickly spread to all regions, and people described it as the magical tool that answers questions about the present, the past and the future with amazing accuracy. It emerged as an exciting and mysterious tool that was promoted as a tool of esoteric divination and a tool for family entertainment. So far, there is no conclusive evidence confirming whether this game is real or just a myth. There are many who have tried it, talked to spirits, the questions were answered and the game became a part of their lives, and there are others who have tried it and it did not move with the game at all despite the availability of the conditions until the latest scientific research. There are those who confirm the validity of the game by testing it on solid objects and moving the cursor, and there are other researchers that confirmed that it is also just a myth, but in fact it is caused by the subconscious energy of the players. The mind and the pointer move according to the strength of this energy. Mr. Henry, some believe that the Ouija board is used to summon spirits, others believe that it is used to summon demons. Is there a difference between summoning spirits and summoning demons?
I do not think that there is anyone who has not heard of the phenomenon of summoning souls or talking to the dead, which has spread widely in all Arab and foreign societies. The reason for this prevalence is the human emotion that constantly rejects the idea of losing people close to them forever. One of the most famous psychics who have given television programs on necromancy is the famous psychic John Edward. Therefore, summoning spirits means summoning people who have died. So that their spirits are summoned by their families to check on them or ask them about certain things. In the original Ouija game, its main objective is to summon the soul and ask questions of it, but we find that there are some strange versions of this game. For example, the Arabic version contains a large selection of strange spells that make it more like magic. Some religious scholars believe that the Arabic version summons demons and not spirits, and this is the difference between them. We also know that the Ouija board was first recognized in the USA in 1890, and Reisch and Kennard were the first to design the Ouija board. Kennard gave the board the name Ouija, in reference to a pharaonic phrase meaning, good luck. Subsequently, Kennard's company was sold to Fuld, who claimed that the name was a mixture of French oui and German ja, which means, yes. Let's look at it logically and discover that the Ouija board is just a game that has no importance and does not summon souls. Firstly, if this game really summons spirits and asks them questions, then why was it not called People from History and Knowing the Events of History Accurately? For example, until now the world did not know how the pyramids and the Sphinx were built, and how the pharaohs mummified their dead to preserve their bodies. Why not the king or one of the priests responsible for mummification is summoned to know these pharaonic secrets? Secondly, when you want to get a Ouija board, you don't go to a university or a cultural center, but to a toy store. If it was that important, it would have at least been put into universities and relevant authorities to study it rather than put it in toy stores.